Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Generally Speaking. I am one half of the team. Go by the name of Yukon.
And we
Mike,
got Mike Mitch.
yes indeed. We got an interesting show. Something that we thought was relatively thought provoking uh, in dealing with self love, happiness, and the overall long term health of the nuclear family. Anything you want to add to that, Mike?
Yeah, we find this to be very important, and it's something that has to be discussed to bring about awareness.
Bring about awareness, to have a healthy, open dialogue, and really to allow uh, some introspective thought in reference to how we conduct ourselves in relationships, marriages, and what we should sacrifice, what we shouldn't sacrifice for the long term betterment of ourselves, but more so the family. So we'll get right into it. Again, if you have thoughts, questions, concerns, feel free to join us. Um, you can interact with us live through the chat, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you want to join, we can send a request out for you to chat live with us and make it happen that way. So without further ado, we're going to get into our first topic here. Let's go, let's go. All right. So, what's more important, happiness or the health of the family? So, perusing the interwebs earlier this week, came across a article that made reference to Tia Mowry, which I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with. She was married to another actor. They have kids together, things of that nature. But she filed for a divorce. Um, don't ask me why I know this, but I was just taking a look at the details of the story. She filed for divorce. I want to say back in October 20th, and essentially the reasons as to why she stated she was moving on from the marriage was based upon her own happiness, right? She felt that personally she wasn't being fulfilled as an individual, and that fulfillment, that desire for fulfillment, drove her to want to part ways with her husband, leave the nucleus of the family per se, and pursue her own happiness. Mike, how do you feel about that?
That's bullshit, man. That's
We're keeping it all the way
bullshit.
100 tonight.
Um,
So,
to be honest with you,
what's your
there
YouTube
we
channel?
go. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
I feel like something else took place to put them in a position to where they feel it was best for them to divorce, to seek a divorce. I'm not here to speculate what took place, but you know, as of right now, for what we're about to speak on, we can only speak on her saying that she's in search of self love. All right, midlife crisis. That's what I'm hearing. All right, now, to me, midlife crisis when involving in a marriage sounds like a scapegoat, in my opinion. You know, um, but yeah, that's what I have. That's my thoughts on that.
Okay. So they were married for 14 years. And I just, that, I'll say this, the privacy of a relationship, a marriage, a family, that's one thing. When you're in the spotlight, that's another.
Hey, Ben, can you remove that ticker?
Nah, man,
It's blocking my view, I believe.
I got you.
Oh. Yeah.
But anyway,
There we go. Yeah.
um, we'll float back here. Mm, So they were married for 14 years. They don't owe anyone an explanation for the moves that they make privately, right? But them being in a public space allows us to kind of critique the ongoings. So it is what it is. They were married for 14 years, and Tia is quoted as saying, I knew when I started to focus on my happiness that it was over, right? That I wanted to go a different direction, right? Like she had this great awakening when she went to, and had a massage at the spa or something like that. It dawned on me that I no longer needed to to honor my husband. I no longer needed to be a part of that family. I feel like we're better off being co-parents, right? We understand that divorce in and of itself has ramifications on the kids that far exceed the expectations of the individuals who are separating. Um,
Right.
but it definitely, as you alluded to, it seems like a midlife crisis type deal. She's 44. Um, so based upon this information, we can assume that she expects to live till she's 88. But the thing is that, like, what do you plan on doing, right? And I would say she's not the average type chick. Being in the Hollywood circle, Hollywood marriages last 10, 15 minutes and they'll get divorced, then get married 20, 30 minutes later. And so I would say in that particular space that she probably won't find a husband up to the caliber of what her current or now ex-husband was. Um, but why, after 14, 15 years, if there was if there was no physical, mental abuse, like what do you need to do?
I would say, what there are one being a marriage, right? You made your vows to this individual in front of God, and then on top of that, you guys have children together. The most important thing, in my opinion, in today's standards, is children, right? These
Mhm.
children, they actually have lives themselves, right? And I don't know the dynamics of their relationship with the kids involved. I don't know the in and outs of their entire. It's not like we know these people personally, but we know there's kids involved. So these kids have to be put at a high priority before anything. So you seeking self-love, to me, it sounds like you're seeking selfishness, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so the kids have to be really put in front of everything. Now again, we don't know what really took place. I think something else took place in front of this self-love journey that she's talking about. I think that's a scapegoat for what really happened. But that's neither here nor there. But kids are the most important thing, right? We're no longer in the 100 years ago, and probably before then. Marriage is quite different these days. We're getting married just purely based off love, right? Based off love. Love comes with a time. It comes with a time. It runs out eventually, right? So you got to find ways to keep the candle lit, you know?
So
That's why,
yeah. Go ahead, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good. So with history, back in the days, the fathers would give off their daughters to make trades or to trade goods or for to unite the families. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? We're united families. Here's a contract. I'm giving my daughter. Them two is basically going to form a child or children between the two families, right? Now, we are a little bit more emotional and more sensitive in society. So, I love you, you love me, let's run away and get married. And the byproduct is children. Okay, there is no real benefit in marriage. No significant benefits in marriage.
To
But go
men,
ahead.
I think there's significant benefit to women as far as the long term prospects of marriage and what they stand to gain on the back end of it. Seeing that what is it? The divorce rate is somewhere in the 60, 70%, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think it's like 83% for second marriages. It's astounding. There's no real benefit, in my opinion, to men getting married in today's day and age, especially if you are a high value male. But
My
yeah,
way say there's no benefit for either partner during the marriage, but it seems to be a benefit during the divorce process for
I,
women.
I don't agree with you though. I will say that there's tremendous benefit for women in marriage throughout the lifetime of the relationship or the marriage, right?
Okay. Why you
Women,
say that?
women seek security and comfort in lifestyle, right? Traditionally, right? And they look to men traditionally as providers to provide the lifestyle that they want. They vet the men that they, you know, uh, that they ideally want to have kids with to see if he can sustain the lifestyle that would be necessary to maintain their family. That's always been the dynamic that was brought to us in reference to marriage and women seeking that particular value. You don't really have a whole lot of men. Men seek marriage based upon the fact that traditionally kids come with marriage and men want to extend their legacy and family. Um, but that's traditionally it. You don't really have a whole bunch of men lining up. Men, we're not lining up for engagement rings and shit, right? We're not having the whole wedding aspect is for women. Like you never heard of a groomzilla. It's a bridezilla, right? For a reason because the marriage is the wedding is all about the woman. You know everything in relation to that particular business exchange is in reference to a woman's benefit. Um, you know,
What is the benefit of the woman again? I kind of drought you in the audio. What
security,
is the tangible benefits that a woman gain in marriage?
security, lifestyle.
Okay, okay. And that's with a high value man. That's what a man with maybe
That's,
high earning and a high
not
value man.
that's in general, right? Yeah, every chick wants the 6 foot whatever athletes, 6 to 7 foot,
That doesn't benefit her.
6 to 7 figure earner, right?
Okay, yeah, the
That,
earning. Yeah. I
that's
like that.
yeah. Again, like
Yeah.
it's all about how they can secure their lifestyle, right? That's why
Uh,
hyperbole is such a thing, right?
okay, okay.
It's such a big factor
I
because
accept
men
that.
are
I
constantly
agree.
trying to get the biggest and best option to secure their lifestyle.
Because I'm gonna
So
be honest with you, when it comes to money and being a high earning man or consider a high value man, I feel physical attributes matter not at all. All right. I feel like if you like average high value men, meaning someone um, who's slightly above our status, right? They have clout. They have clout on Instagram. They got like 200 plus thousand followers, or some say they got a nice bank account. We're talking like 100K. You know, yeah, height and physical attributes might be a beneficial, but it's not a real great beneficial to women these days. Women don't care about how you look. I'm just gonna be honest. This
yeah,
is my opinion.
yeah,
We in bodybuilding, right? We in
yeah,
bodybuilding. That's all that shit is a plus. That's just to say, hey, I can bear to give this nigga some pussy at this point. I'm not just here for his wallet. I can bear to give him some pussy. I can actually look at him and wake up and smile like, damn, I gave this nigga some pussy. You know, but
so
but women can somehow they can maneuver over all of that shit and be with a man specifically for his status and specifically for his high earning.
right. So a chick will make concessions on her preferences based upon the other aspects of what that dude can provide. But chicks
Yeah.
have, you know, an ideal or a vision of the type of dude that they want. They have preferences, right? So looks, how you dress, how you smell, how you articulate yourself, your level of confidence, all of that shit matters, right? Women fuck who they respect, right? I could be an
I feel
asshole,
like I
but if
I
they,
do feel like a small select group of women who cares about the physical attributes, but I feel like for the majority of women, based off my observation, they care about how the men treat her and how they are able to provide.
ooh, okay, so going
I'm not saying that it's a waste of time to go into the gym and get yourself together and all that. Nowhere near that. You know, that's what we here for, right? But I do not believe that women are seeking the best looking man, the tall man and all that. I don't I personally I think that that shit is dead.
okay,
You
let me
know,
ask you
it
this.
helps. It helps.
I
But
wish
go
we
ahead.
had the fresh and fit chick panel so we could go around the table and ask them. But if you got two high value males of the same status, same stature, for the most part, in a setting, say if they're in a VIP section at a
Hmm.
club, one is ripped and the other one looks like fucking Post Malone or some shit, but it's not Post Malone. Doesn't have a cachet. He's just built like Post Malone or some
Right.
overweight, right? Who are they gonna gravitate towards?
They okay, so if they on the same level of status, they're gonna go up to the one with the with the higher physical attributes, right?
Exactly.
But
So
the problem is with
let's
that is
know.
it's not too many high value men. That's the problem.
Say it again.
And so the problem is that it's not a high majority, it's not a majority of high value men, right? You know, so you're
Okay.
dealing with the average man versus the high value man or the high earning man. You know, there's a very small population as you go up the ladder or as you go up the pyramid. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
true. So again, as I stated earlier, chicks will uh, concede on some of their preferences based upon what the other offering may be, right? So if
Yeah,
a dude is
I
higher in
got you.
status, she'll allow, for every digit in his bank account, she might allow an additional 10 to 15 pounds, about,
Yeah,
or a percent or two of body fat, you
yeah.
know?
Nah, I got
So,
you. I mean, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. That's what I said. Preference matter, but if this the only option she has, she's probably gonna go with the man that's high earning, who's actually providing. Not that you have a high earning, but you're actually providing for her. You know what I'm saying? You actually getting, you actually doing stuff for her, right? She's gonna gravitate towards that man. But I think the looks is probably it matters. Preference always matters, but it's just the opposite of men. You know, men, we're physical. We more about, what we see. Let's just be
yeah,
honest, right? You know,
I'm with that.
yeah. But wifey, making you a wife is about how you do carry yourself. Are you on social media constantly? But I don't want to get off subject. But
Yeah,
let's wear it back in. But go ahead.
yeah, for sure. So getting back to self versus family when you have chosen to get married, or when you're in that particular relationship, uh, I have to gravitate back towards what Kevin Samuels would say. Right? Nowhere in the marriage vows does it mention happiness. Right? Uh, a lot of the men that I know are not necessarily happy being married, right? But they choose to do it based upon the fact that they made that choice. And so you have to see out, uh, the result of that. You have to live out the consequence of that decision, right? As Kevin Samuels would say, you French toast your happiness, right? French toast your happiness. No one's mentioned anything about your happiness. You can do, and happiness is a choice, right? I'm not of the mind or the opinion that happiness is an activity, right? So you can only be happy if you're out with your friends or out at a club or some shit, right? That just means your choices are trash. Happiness is a choice in your mind, right? There's individuals who are homeless that are happy because they choose to be, right? I can't get behind, oh well, I was just doing some introspective thought and I was searching my soul and I just felt that I was being underserved and I was worth more and I wasn't getting what I deserved. The fuck it, what does that mean? Like you gonna have to actually give me some quantifiers to put that shit into a sound logical argument as to why it was 100% necessary for you to step outside of your marriage or choose to get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I don't buy that logic. And you know, there's certain circumstances, and getting down to the biblics, there are certain circumstances, and I'm not a Bible thumper by any stretch, but there was a certain circumstance that it brought up that it justified, you know, if this happened, okay, go ahead and get a divorce. But it was in reference to uh, committing adultery. If somebody stepped out of the marriage, as far as, you know, sexual partners, or in this particular instance, a chick stepping out on her dude, right? Uh, that is something that was justifiable by divorce, with divorce, right?
Right.
But if I don't, if that, you know, if that's not the standard, so to speak, I don't necessarily get behind the fact that you say you needed some happiness, right?
I say, whatever commitment you make, whether it's marriage or just being a boyfriend and girlfriend, you got to say, hey, this is what I stand on. If you ain't standing with this, then we can't do this, right? And so when you make your vows got to go towards the things that you stand on and what she has to believe in, or vice versa, right? I would like to believe somewhere down the line that they both had an agreement and someone both broke that trust, and that allowed that person to seek love for themselves, because now they're trying to get out of this partnership deal, and now they're trying to seek love for themselves. So I hope that's what it is. I doubt that's what it is, but yeah, we can carry on.
For sure, for sure. Getting to, and we kind of touched on this in that previous segment, but you know, in today's day and age, is marriage beneficial to men?
Nope.
Is there any benefit?
Nope. Okay, there's a benefit if there's kids involved. If there's no kids involved, there's no benefit of men. We can get the same thing that we can gain while being in a committed relationship with a woman without being on contract.
Yeah.
It's the same shit, nothing different. But traditionally speaking, like I said, with kids involved, and I guess the kids can go to school and say, "Hey, my parents are married." If they was having an argument with other kids and say, "Hey, we don't want to be my parents," yeah, my parents are married. You know, if you want to say, "Hey, my wife," and that helps you with your status, and you being a part of a dinner, "Hey, my wife," instead of saying my girlfriend, hey, that might boost your confidence in speaking about your significant other. But outside of that, there's no real benefit in being married.
So Kevin Samuels used to talk on the benefits of marriage for men, and he was saying that essentially, once you get so high in climbing the corporate ladder, there's certain doors that you can only access if you're married. He said the
Yeah.
majority of C-suite execs are married, right? And having an honorable, beautiful, respectable wife who knows how to work the room can grant you access to a lot of different things. And so, aside from that, and I'll give him, you know, I'll validate that just based upon his experience, the results that he's seen with the couples that he was able to, you know, curate and things from his Facebook group. I have to take that. I've not climbed that high up the corporate ladder to be able to give firsthand experience in reference to that. But I would say that that is a benefit based upon his research. Aside
Hmm.
from that, I don't see much.
I don't even know what the benefit is on that ladder. When you go up that ladder, if you want to be a role model for the world, that's fine, that's cool. That's the only thing that I've seen from the higher echelons of people, the top tier, the elites. Yeah, it does seem like most of them are married as of right now. Jeff Bezos is not married. He's been divorced
He
for
was
an X
married.
amount of time. You
Yeah,
know,
he was
um,
married.
Yeah, he was married, and but to me, it just comes with being a role model. You want to be the role model for the world. I feel like there might be some conspiracy there to where, hey, we want society to still see the that marriage it should be held at a high standard, and we want the people who are below us to get married. Where marriage fell miserably at this level. I mean, marriage fell miserably. It seems to be at all levels at this point. Um, but yeah, anybody who's doing this live chat is probably not married. You know what I'm saying? Or probably has been through a divorce. Um, any benefits in your situation? I think you was married at one point in time.
Yeah, I was married, got divorced, married young, divorced younger. I think we're together for a total of 15, 20 minutes, somewhere in there. Uh, as it was, like our experience was so fresh that I was so young. I wasn't in a position of accruing assets, but I did have money. And things went south immediately around the downturn of the economy back in 2008, 2009. Right,
Yeah.
once the money tightened up and the lifestyle had to change a little bit, yo, that shit, yeah, that shit got it hit the fan at that point. Not to say that the economy was to blame or the fact that my pockets were a little bit dry or started to dry up. There was a lot that went into it, but I will say, like for me, it was important just based upon my upbringing and the fact that my parents got divorced, the fact that I felt the an overwhelming desire to have family and to keep my family together. Um, and the reason why I got married, keeping it a buck, was just based upon the fact that my girl was pregnant, right? And I thought that it was necessary, and I was still trying to, live a righteous life and please God. And I felt the only way that I could try and atone for having a chick who was married that was not my wife is to make her my wife, and that was a mistake and a half. Had I known
Yeah.
what I know now, I never would have got married. I thought it was necessary for me to get married in order for me to be a good father, and that is, the experience of a young kid, right? Had I listened to the elders and individuals who were around me advising me to go contrary, I would have made a different decision. But it's very difficult to listen to the voice of reason when you're in love. But
That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah.
um, but yeah, I don't really feel like there's much upside for men in the prospect of marriage. There's so many incentives and benefits for a chick to get. There was a chick I was talking to. It was a couple years ago, but she was like, "Yeah, I would try marriage, right? Like it's a subscription service or some shit, right?" I was, yo, oh yeah, I'll try marriage. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, marriage it's supposed to be a lifelong commitment in today's day and age. To be honest, as you stated earlier, marriage started off as it was just a business contract to expand the family and provide resources. Generally speaking, the father sold the daughter to the husband's family, right? And the dowry was exchanged. Generally speaking, it'd be like livestock or wheat or land or some shit like that, and they would use it to expand the family. That's how empires grew. If you take a look at some of the ruling powers now, they expanded and doubled their resources based upon the marriages.
So
So
I feel like at this point, marriage, the traditional sense of marriage still reflects what we used to do hundreds of years ago, or however long human beings have involved themselves of traditionally getting married. So therefore, I think there should be an evolution in the actual process of being married and the consequences and the divorce rates and stuff like that. I don't feel like we should get married in the same traditional sense. Okay, things have changed. History have changed. I mean, not history. I'm sorry, but the modern day is not does not reflect what used to be.
Yeah, I definitely I have to agree with you there.
Yeah.
Um, let's segue into this next segment. Um, now let's see here. Let me get this queued up. Where my producer and directors at here? Yeah, I think it's on the screen. All right. So, in light of marriage, generally speaking, in today's day and age, the majority of marriages end in divorce. Exhibit A. I don't know if you see what I did there. Exhibit A. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Exhibit was married at one point in time. He's since gotten divorced. Exhibit, he's a
You're
known.
art to this image, though. You can go ahead and remove it.
Uh,
No.
no, I got to
Yeah.
keep it up there for a second.
All right.
Nah, but Exhibit, he was married. He's a known figure, known public figure. Did the Pimp My Ride stuff. He was an actor, a rapper, and known public figure. He was married, and I'm sure his wife is not known for doing shit, but yet she's reaping the benefits of the demise of their marriage. Um, and essentially, he's paying child support. I think he has. They said he had a 10-year-old son or a 10-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old child. He's paying roughly 2,300 a month in child support there, which is not a crazy figure. They didn't get down into the actual breakdown of the amount of alimony that she's receiving at this point. But essentially, throughout the divorce proceedings, he was forced to pay $50,000 of her court fees, and then there was like another $100,000 for something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
Ah, shit's ridiculous.
Exhibit he's filing a motion now uh, to force the judge and force the courts to get to make his ex-wife get a job, right? Instead of living off the alimony. That's really the main focus here. Like marriage is strictly a come up for women now, right? It's a scheme, right? Gold diggers will play their role for a period of time and then get divorced strictly for the alimony and how it can benefit them. Jeff Bezos was married, he got divorced. Now his ex-wife is the richest woman in the world, and she didn't do shit. I'm just saying.
To maintain what though? Like they say to maintain the lifestyle that they have, but what the fuck? You know? Um, billions of dollars. And she contributed to what? She didn't create Amazon.
She didn't.
She may have helped soothe the process in some fashion, but she didn't create Amazon. She didn't help with the building of Amazon, you know. Just like I don't think legally Ye and Kim Kardashian um
Who's
I
Lily?
think that's actually a perfect situation, right?
Who's
That's
Lily?
why I feel like, huh?
Who's Lily?
Who's leaving?
Yeah, I thought you said Lily. I'm not familiar with
No, 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 no. It's Kim Kardashian. I'm sorry. I'm speaking of the dynamic between Kanye West and Kim Kardashian,
that. Yeah.
and um, I feel like in a perfect world, the rich are married to rich, and the poor are married to poor. And if you come up, you should have someone that's going to come up with you. You want to be on an equal playing level with your status because until you know,
Yeah.
uh,
Uh, Go ahead. I'll let you finish your thought.
yeah, I mean, for the defense of a man, it might be in your best interest to get with someone who's on the same status as you, as a high earner or whatever you at, because otherwise, it might be a situation where she is with you for other reasons and not with you genuinely. Okay. And so the ultimate goal may be to seek divorce so that she can make a capital gain in the situation. All right. And hey, it might take over 10 years, but um, that's just where we at. That's where we at in society, especially here in the Western world, here in the United States of America. Um, you know, the men are now seeing like, damn, this shit literally only benefits women. Particularly when there's a separation involved. Okay, so this I I- I'm just not feeling it. Um, I think a prenup is a requirement now. I feel like you're an idiot if you don't seek a prenup now. Okay,
Yeah. So
but go ahead.
now, there's 2 points that I want to kind of bring back. But you said that the rich should marry the rich and the poor should marry the poor. I don't vibe with that at all. Just based upon the fact that there should not be regulation on who a person should or shouldn't fall in love with.
No, no,
But
no, 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 no. I'm not speaking on the regulation process. I'm speaking on what you should do as a man or even as a woman.
I don't
You might
think
want to protect your assets by seeking someone on your same status. Don't seek no
so.
one who's below you.
I don't even think
But
it,
yeah,
it should. It shouldn't even. It shouldn't start that low, right? What I mean when I say that is that the court system, the judicial system, allows women to ravage men, as far as taking, raping the assets and pillaging the village upon divorce, right? Taking the house, taking the kids. The men in today's society in the Western world don't have fucking rights, right?
control what you can control though, and that's what I'm
Nah, so
speaking
that's
on.
where nah. So we need to address.
Yeah.
That's almost like saying that Kanye needs to find a way to work within the confines of the untouchables. Nah, let's fucking address the untouchables, right? If it's
Yeah.
the judiciary uh, uh, segment of society that is allowing this shit to happen, we have to correct that issue, right? Most men don't give a fuck about a woman's status or how much money she's making. It doesn't
That's
matter.
very true. Yeah,
We don't
that's
expect
very
them
true.
to be providers. And
So
most
with the time that we
providers,
have and with the ways things work right now, control what you can control until we can make that change. Maybe if enough voice stand up and go against what has already been in place lawfully, then yeah, I hope it makes a change. I'm with you on that. But I feel like right now you need to control what you can control, until that
so
time comes.
the idea is, so I mean, I will say that there's some broke bad bitches, right? So I mean, and again, like I'm not interested in in a woman's financial status. I'm never going to ask her what I give two shits what she does for a living or how much money's in her bank account. Right? I could be broke as
Yeah,
fuck. I'm still that doesn't matter to me.
yeah.
If she's winning and she's got she's an heiress to some cosmetic empire or some shit. That's great, but I'm not dependent on that.
Right.
So
Yeah, I agree with you.
all,
I feel like the
all
majority of men is not dependent on what the woman is earning in
yeah,
today's society, or
yeah.
ever. I mean, we was always perceived to be the providers to begin with. So, naturally speaking, I just don't think men really concern themselves with what you earning and what degree you have and all that shit. I do agree with you on that.
So instead of trying to mitigate the savagery of divorce or the carnage of divorce, we should still conduct ourselves as far as courtship and engaging those who we are attracted to in the traditional sense in which we do, but we have to do marriage on our own terms, right? We have to exclude the state from what is a personal situation, right? The marriage license is a corporate contract, right? And it's you're including the state in that entity. That doesn't have to be. We have options. We
Eliminate
can
corporate and
eliminate.
say governmental. You are now putting you're putting your love on a fucking with the state. It's like CPS. You know what I'm saying? You're giving CPS the rights to dictate what environment your child lives in. That's the same thing with the fuck you doing with your love, in my
Yeah,
opinion, at
yeah,
this point. But yeah.
shit. I mean, if we're just inviting parties into our marriage, we might as well have a threesome, right? Marriage everywhere. Shit. Like, for real.
Yeah,
Nah,
shit.
but when it comes down to it, we have to start drawing up our own contracts, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't agree with that, that's fine. You don't have to marry me. I'm good. I'll find somebody who agrees
Prenup.
with me and I'll move on. That's just what it is. But the idea of marriage for men, especially in the Western world, is no good. I was speaking with a couple of weeks ago an Indian gentleman, and I used to work out with, when we trained at Lifetime, there was an Indian guy that used to train there. His name was Deja. Real good dude. He used to train with his wife, and before I had met his wife lived in Pakistan, and he was working to bring her here, right? And so she ended up moving here after about a year or so. And before she moved here, I would talk to him about, the courtship aspect and what things were like over there for him in Pakistan. And their marriage was arranged, right? So he knew from an early age, from the time he was like 8 or 9, who he was going to marry, right? That shit was, he didn't have a way out of that. I guess you can defect, you know, but he said the idea of love really didn't factor into his marriage at all. It was more a thing of once they came to a point in time where they had to start getting serious in their interaction, and started to mingle with one another. He said it took them probably about 4 or 5 years for them to get to a point where they actually loved each other, and the emotion of love or the emotion of like was actually there for them. But the the sustainable marriage rate for arranged marriages is far higher than what we would see in the standard setting of courtship here in the Western world, which I find to
Right.
be quite intriguing. But yeah, ultimately, there's not much. It's not a lose lose situation for men. There are individuals who are happily married. We can't, you know, um, we can't balk at that or overlook it. But the percentage of, especially in today's society where women aren't traditional, but they're looking for the
A
traditional marriage.
traditional situation. Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't work out too well for the men, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting topic to discuss. And I feel like as far as where I stand, I just, I don't mind the idea of marriage, and at some point in time, I'll probably cross that line again. But everything's going to be done on my terms. I'm drawing up my own contract. I'm not going to be afraid of getting into that particular interaction and exiting if I need to, right? Or exiting if she chooses to go a different direction. I'm gonna have all that shit written out in my own documentation, have it notarized, and that's what we'll do. We'll have the party as far as the wedding ceremony and the reception, but I'm not putting anything in the hands of the state.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
All
I
right.
agree 100%.
So I got another question for you, man. I want your take on this. So, as far as marriages and relationships are concerned, where do you draw the line in reference to a female having male best friends? How sustainable is that long term?
I mean, if you want to be an idiot, go ahead and be an idiot. Okay. All right. If you find yourself to be an attractive woman, all right, and a man typically knows that, hey, this woman is above average when it comes to how she looks and her physical attributes, you're a fucking idiot. Okay. Just really no nice way of saying it. You shouldn't allow someone that you consider your significant other to have male friends or exes or someone that had her. Okay. Um, if you want to come off of not having insecurities to prove that you some type of fucking alpha male. It's not what alpha male man stands for, right? Or being red pill stands for. You stand on your square no matter what she's talking about or any other circumstance. You stand on your square or anything, right? Hey, hey, woman, if you want to be with me, this is what's gonna be. All right. Hey, I'm not here to be controlling, but this is just what it is. Okay. There is no other ways about it. If I find out that you're doing it, it ain't gonna be you or me no more. That's just what it is. Other than that, we can keep it platonic, okay? And we can keep doing what you're doing. You do your thing, okay? Do whatever you do in the background. But if you want to be my significant other, that's not happening, okay? And it goes both ways too. Again, commitment involves the a certain level of respect and what you want from each other. All right, and that has to be laid out in the forefront.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a tendency to agree with you. Um, so, uh, in regards to what women want and how women conduct themselves, uh, in a general sense across the board, most women are not. So internally, they're honest with themselves, but outwardly, they're dishonest in a motherfucker, right? They'll
Yeah.
convince themselves that, oh yeah, he's just a friend. No, he would never try and blah blah blah. Like the reason why I know that shit is a dangerous prospect is because I used to play that role, right? Like I used to say, and I still, in certain instances, it still applies. The easiest chick to get is the one in a relationship, right? A lot of times you can go in there, play that shit just low key to the motherfucker, and let them have one bad day, and you be the shoulder to cry on. I swear to God, it's the easiest opening. You ain't got to pay for none of the dates. You just chilling after work or some shit like that. It just goes down, right?
See,
It's
your
the
eyes
easiest.
crying. Is your pussy crying too? Yeah, let me check that out.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think, and a lot of times when women a lot of what women do is for the currency of attention, right? And so they have a lot of what we would consider to be beta male orbiters, niggas that they put in that position for a reason because they're not the first option. But if something were to go south with their main, they're going to use this as a fallback or a rebound to try and heal emotionally real quick to get them back in step, back in stride.
Yeah.
But I was watching an interview a few days ago, and this chick, it was in reference to this exact subject matter, and the dude was like, if you're honest with yourself, you know that every dude that you so-called claim to be a friend is wanting to smash, right? And she was like, well, and she finally admitted that shit. Yeah, she was like, yeah, but she was like, you have to train them. You can't let them get to a certain point, right?
So
I'm like, oh, man, like that's just a bad
so
prospect.
why you seeking attention? That's what it is. I mean you
Yeah,
only
bro.
you're seeking validation. That's it. Okay. And I mean, hey, I don't waste my time in that dynamic. I'm not here to be your friend. Okay. I'm here. We can be cool. There's a difference between being friends and cool. I don't mind having a conversation with you about, you know, maybe having some common goals in life or something, or maybe, some gym or just having a basic ass conversation. But I'm not here to be your fucking shoulder to cry on. Okay. All right. Well, you gonna be my shoulder to cry on, and we're gonna do something in the bedroom. Like, what we gonna do? All right. I'm not look, I'm in a relationship, so I don't want to be too disrespectful, but listen, I'm just being real. I'm being as authentic as possible. Right. I'm not here. I don't got nothing to gain from this shit. So So a lot of dudes, this is the only way they can get pussy. Like, just being honest with you, I'm, I could be the hater right now, but listen, this is in many ways, this is how a lot of guys get their pussy. This is the best way. This is the best chance that they have. And that,
I would
and me,
say,
on the other hand, I don't think this way, you know,
yeah,
but
it's really
uh,
what I consider to be the easy way out, right?
yeah,
And a lot of dudes like they'll be the serial best friend to like 5 or 6 chicks. I'm like, man, what you're wasting your energy. Like all you gotta really like, and we spoke on this earlier. Like if you're to really be in control of that dynamic, you don't have to look like a fucking bodybuilder, but the confidence that you gain from being in the gym will help you in the approach, right? Women understand confidence; they can feel it, right? And attraction is it's a chemical reaction in the mind. It happens
yeah,
automatically. It's not a thing. Like there's certain people that you can't help but be attracted to based upon who they are and how that interaction fires within your brain, right?
right,
But yeah, man. To be honest, like we've been in society has warped quite a bit. You know, I don't hold a whole lot of respect for dudes that just wait in the wings like that, right? And
yeah. I
also,
don't have no respect for you. If that's the only way you can do it, damn, bro.
yeah,
Like, seriously,
you got to
you
elevate your
know,
game at some point, right? I think we've
yeah.
all, from I'm 35 now, right? So from the time I started off, and I'm cutting my
Damn,
teeth
nigga,
in
you
everywhere.
35?
35, man. I'm getting up there.
Just fucking with you.
Yeah, from the time I first started getting active until now, my whole game plan and approach has changed, right? You have to evolve. You have to get better. Um, and if you're not getting better, you're fucking getting worse,
To
right?
me, that's dangerous. I mean, for me as a man, now a mature guy, we all play with fire in our past, I was a kid, but now I say the last fucking 7, 8 years, probably longer than that, man. Look, dog, look, if you in a relationship, man, hey, my dick get instantly soft, man. First of all, I feel like I'm playing with fire. I don't know what this dude you're dealing with, what he's capable of. I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want nothing. I don't want no parts of that. All right, I'm out. Fuck that. Now I find something else, right? I don't know. Maybe I might be a good looking guy and I may have more options. I don't know. I don't
Mm,
know.
yeah,
But yeah,
I understand what you're saying. Like I would like a chick's relationship status is none of my business. I don't like it is their job to inform me that they're in a relationship. I will never ask
yeah,
a
I do
chick out.
agree. I do agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And then once you know, I mean, your conscience play on you at that
Yeah,
point, right? And
exactly. Once
so,
you know, you're accountable. But if I don't
yeah,
know, yeah, she's just a random chick. Just is what it
yeah,
is. But a lot of times, fellas, just be mindful. Chicks are very incredibly manipulative, right? And they want what they want. But a lot of times, when you give them what they want, they'll spurn you for it, right? So you gotta stand on your own and don't come off your square, right? You have to stand for something. And chicks that see that you'll stand up or make an argument behind a cause, but you'll end up faltering 15, 20 minutes later or 30 days later, they lose respect for you long term, right?
yeah.
So a lot of times they'll come at you. And when I was young, like I got hit with the "oh you're insecure" line all the fucking time, and that shit was
Man, I don't got time.
that
Yeah, I'm
shit like I gave
insecure.
when I
Guess
was
what?
yeah when I was young I gave into that shit. I didn't know. I was like, damn, am I tripping? What I'm looking at myself in the mirror trying to figure out if this is me tripping or is she just trying to get over. But once you experience life to a certain extent, like you see the games coming, right? If a chick is telling you that she has guy friends and she's not willing to give up her guy friends for the prospect of her overall long term health, keep going. Keep going.
If you're a fucking man, you lead any situation, every situation. All right. If you have something that you believe in and you hold dear to your heart, you stand on that fucking shit. Okay. That's just what it comes down to. All right. If
Exactly.
you want to be an idiot and say, hey, yeah, you can talk to you, you can be friends. Now, again, with the exception of her having kids, yeah. I mean, that's common sense. She has no choice but to have a cool relationship with her child's father. We're not talking about that. We're talking about exes where she went balls deep, dick balls in her mouth, and without any real things that's keeping her connected with him. Okay, there's no kids involved. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're referring to. All right. There's no reason. It's not necessary for her to maintain a relationship with him while being with you. All right. Maybe you're just not enough for her. That's basically what she's telling you. All
Yeah.
right.
A lot of times, and I heard
So
Kevin Samuel talk about this too. A lot of times, if a chick has everything that she needs, as far as the the finances being secure, the lifestyle being secure, and you're giving her everything, the main reason why she's stepping out is because she's not satisfied sexually, right? And so, in that regard, it's necessary to improve your game, right?
mm,
You got to have. It just is what it is. You got to have a game plan that works. You got to get reliable feedback. Who's telling you
it could be
that you're
financial
doing
too. You may not be
it? Yeah.
financially
Yeah. In
secure
this
for her.
instance, in this instance, all of her boxes are checked with the exception of the bedroom, right?
Right,
So she's looking for somebody to come in and kind of dominate, and you got to make sure that you're actually satisfying and pleasing in that regard.
right,
Or else she'll keep you around for what she wants, but she's gonna be stepping out on the side to get the rest of what she is not getting satisfied. So
right.
that's something that you got to look out for as well. But yeah, you know, insecurities. To be honest, um, I don't even know if that. I feel like insecurities really play out more in the role of the female, right? They may question your activities and shit, like what are you doing, where are you going, what time are you gonna be home, type shit. Like for me, I'm not asking 20 questions. If I gotta ask all that shit, I gotta check your phone and all that stuff. I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna walk away. But when it comes down to it, like you gotta make sure that the principles that you stand for as a man guide you at all times throughout the relationship, or else
Yeah,
she'll keep chasing the armor. And if she does have guy best friends, at that point in time, she's gonna start entertaining a little bit more hardcore,
right.
in my opinion.
That's exactly what it is. All right, what else we got?
Yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of today's episode. We're 59 minutes in. We definitely appreciate the folks that are tuning in later instead of the live, but we got to get the live instead of the later going into these future episodes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we're going into Thanksgiving week next week. Don't know what your plans are, Mike, but I wish you and the family a happy Thanksgiving
All
along
right,
with the
same to
rest of
you.
our people. Right on, I appreciate it.
All
You got
right,
anything for the people before we get out of here?
all right, cool. Yeah, we out of here. So I would like to say, if you don't like what we said, fuck you. But
Exactly. If you don't like what I'm doing, nigga, fuck you. It is what it is. But hey, until next time, it's been a wonderful time. Speaking on some topics that we feel need voicing. And until next time, keep it real, righteous, and relevant. We out of here.